Right, so we are going to be making our own mandala. So you can see this is a finished side of one of my mandalas. Your finished piece is going to have two sides. I haven't finished this on both sides, but you are going to work on both sides of each of your circles that you get in your kit. In your kit, you should have two of these circles, these thick paper circles. You should have two pieces of string for each of your mandalas. You should have 3 different colored markers, and you should have 4 different rows or lines of these jewels. Each of the 4 rows is going to be for one of each side of your mandala. So one for this side, another for this side, and your 2 others for your 2 other sides of your circle. Your last thing you should have is 4 different big jewels, and your big jewels, each one is going to be for one of your 4 sides of your mandala. So I will choose one to go maybe in the middle of this mandala or wherever I want to put it. Step number 1 is that you're going to want a few extra tools from home. So I have a ruler, but you can find a straight edge as well. Another thing you want from home is a pencil, and if you want to, this is optional, you can look for different things around your home that are circular shapes, and I'll show you what we could do with those, but you don't need these if you don't have them. Okay, so these are just some objects I found that are circular. Step number 1 is that you are going to want to start to create circles on your circle. The way that we're going to do this, in order to kind of make it look like nice circles and not just kind of wavy circles, is I'm going to start to split up my mandala into pie slices so I can follow along the lines, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So I take my ruler, my straight edge, and I split my circle in half. Then I split it in another half the other way so it's like a cross. I keep on doing that so I have smaller and smaller pie slices. So I'm going to just keep on doing that, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Feel free to measure yours out so it's perfectly in the center, but I am going to just do this quickly for my demonstration here and try to use a very, very light pencil. You don't want to use too hard a force with your pencil right now because you don't want these lines to show up later. So you can see what that looks like. I'm starting to split them up. I'm going to go even smaller. So I've done quite a few lines. It doesn't really matter how many lines you do. This is going to help you create circles. So what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start to draw along the lines, connecting them to create circles that are small and bigger in order to have a structure for my mandala shapes. So I'm going to connect the lines, and as I turn my mandala around, I am following the turn as well as I can to create my circle. Another way that you can create a more perfect circle is by finding objects around your house. So I found this. This is just an object. It doesn't matter what it is. And I'm going to trace my circle like this around that object so I have circles that are a little bit more precise. But if you don't have any round objects, that's okay. I made this one without any tracing at all. And I'm going to use a bigger circle as well. So you don't have to do so many, but you can do as many as you want. It's pretty rough, so you can always fix it as you go along. That's why we're staying very light with our pencil. We're not pressing down too hard. The next step is we're going to start to create our designs, and if you want, you could go straight in with your marker, or you can start off by doing what I do, which is using pencil to create a few sketches, and then I go on top with my marker as I please. So I'm gonna try to create some shapes and just feel free with this. This is your imagination.
Okay, cut. We'll just...
As you can see, I'm in the middle of creating my design. I just use my pencil lines as inspiration for creating all kinds of shapes and colors that I want with the colors that I have. And you can just use your imagination. You can do shapes. I did some stars. You can do whatever you want. I like to put all of my shapes all around so it's circling the middle. So that way it looks like a mandala like that. And I'll let you know when it's finished. So I finished decorating my whole mandala, and as you can see, all my designs are circling the middle. I created all my designs so they all are in circles and they're all around, so I create a sense of what is called radial balance. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of my jewels. One tip when you're doing your decorations is think about covering your whole entire circle. I left some white spots where I wanted to, but I only left white spots because I thought they were visually interesting, not because I just got too bored of decorating the whole thing. So now I'm going to add my sticker. So I'm going to add my big sticker. Remember, you have 4 of these big ones for each of your 4 sides. So I'm going to just choose one. I'm going to choose my green one. I want to put mine in the middle. You might decide something different. I'm going to put mine in the middle. I thought about maybe putting it on before I did my decorations, but it's going to be hard to do my other side. So I suggest just saving your jewels for when you've done both sides. I'm putting mine down just to show you. So I'm putting my jewel in the middle. And now that it's placed down, I have my small little jewels, and I have 1 row for each side. I'm going to use these jewels to decorate however I want. And so I'm going to show you in just a moment how that will look once it's all finished. Alright, so this is my finished mandala, one side of it. I will do the other side later. And your last step is going to be to take your ribbon and to put it through the hole that you have. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to squish it a little bit with my fingers so it's easier to poke through. And I'm just going to poke it through like that. And if you need to, you might even want to use your pencil or something to make sure that there's any little paper in the way, that it's a nice clean hole for you to poke through. As long as it gets through, that's the most important part. And it's ready for you to hang anywhere you want, around wherever you want, outside, inside. If you want to hang it outside, be careful because the rain might ruin it later. So maybe an indoor spot would be best. And I have a few extra handy tips to let you know while you're working on this. So tip number 1, these are washable water-based markers, and this is, the paper reacts very well to the markers, which ends up making a little bit of a bleeding effect in your drawing. So you should be careful with that, but you might actually want to use that to your advantage and have fun with it, what it looks like when the markers blend together, different colors are blending. So that's just a little bit of a warning. Tip number 2 is that with your jewels, you'll notice sometimes that your actual plastic bead comes right off without the glue, and the glue will stay on your plastic strip. If that happens, not to worry, just take the plastic glue that's stayed on your strip, it'll be clear, it'll be sticky, and very gently put it wherever you want on your mandala, and then take your plastic without the glue and put it on that sticky part. If that happens to you, I'm sure you'll know what I mean. If it doesn't, no problem. That's it.